J Smitty J Smitty conversation. J Smitty J Smitty conversation. Smitty J Smitty conversation.
We're just looking at like couples and people in the league. And we was talking about how LeBron do the little handshake with Savannah.
Right.
And then I was like, maybe I notice shit that people don't notice. But I'm like, they was like talking about, what if you had LeBron money? I'm like, man, he one of the greatest players to ever play the game.
Right.
But I wouldn't want to trade places with him. And they was like, why not? Why you wouldn't want to play with him? I say, because I don't like the way Savannah look at LeBron. I like the way them white women look at LeBron. They be out. But it's like I noticed when he go do the handshake with the main player on his team, which is that, it's like, you act like I'm bothering you. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it.
What's good, y'all? It's your boy J Smitty Conversations, and I'm back with another video. What's going down? Hope everybody's having a good day. With me, I'm excited. I got this big meeting I'm getting ready to go to. I don't know if you guys knew, I have a nonprofit, the WeAreYou Foundation, weareyoufoundation.org, and I created this curriculum for my organization because I was looking at curriculums that was online, and you know, they were kind of cut and dry, and you know, I wanted to create something where you know, I'm talking in my language, you know, and something that's easily digestible for like a adolescent male that is you know, going through that transition to manhood. All right, anyway, I played the video. Y'all seen what happened, man. I'm gonna give my thoughts on what KevinGates said about LeBron and Savannah James, right? His wife. First, I want to say, man, I just could imagine how tough it is to be a celebrity. Like, you got just people just randomly commenting on your family, Stephen A. commenting on your fathering ability, and it's just like the average guy would struggle with these things. I'm just putting myself, I'll just speak for myself. I would struggle with just fame, you know, people just saying what they want to. I feel bad sometimes for people that have celebrity, you know what I mean? Just because of just everybody feels like they can speak on your stuff, even like what I'm doing. But I want to give my feedback to what KevinGates said. So KevinGates said, you know, he didn't like the way Savannah James was looking at LeBron, the way he gives that to him, whatever, right? And I'm just like, man, to me, when I see Savannah, I see her looking at LeBron as LeBron, you know, the kid from Akron, you know, the father, the husband, like the human being. She's looking at him like a human being. She's been there. She's there. She treats him as a human. And I bet you, without a doubt, LeBron probably appreciates that. He probably appreciates that. I don't know if you guys ever been around somebody that was famous before, but like that, I have a friend, and I'm not saying he's like a superstar, but he has his own show and people know him, and sometimes I'm out with him, and it's like some days he just wants to walk down the street or eat at a restaurant, and people want to take a photo, people want to you know, introduce themselves, they want to sell, you know, show ideas and things like that. And it's like, you know, you want some sense of normalcy. And so my friend I'm talking about, he's at a lower scale. I mentioned him before in other videos, but he's at a lower scale. But like, even like with him, like he hates that piece of it. And I could just imagine like I'm a human being. Of course I'm human, right? I'm a person. I would struggle with just not knowing who's there for me, who's really like supportive of me, who's trying to manipulate me, who has hidden motive. Do you like me for me? Do you like me for my bank account? Anybody that's around me, I know for a fact that they're around me. You know what I mean? And that's like the luxury of being a regular human being. When we have friends, when we have significant others, we have people that really see us for us. People that are around us because they want to be around us. You know, it's a relationship. It's not a transaction-ship. You get what I'm saying? And so when I see Savannah and LeBron James doing the handshake and the way she looks at him for him. and she sees him for him. Kevin Gates mentioned how the white woman looks at him, right? And I saw a video of one white woman looking like she was in a trance, and you know, they look like they do. One thing he was right about, they do look at him like they would jump in his shorts, his basketball shorts, if they could right then. What some of them white women, and I'm sure it's black women too, but what some of them white women are probably thinking is like, how can I be a part of that? How can I get a piece of that money? How can I possibly replace Savannah James? That's how they looking at him, fam. But like, the problem is, and this is the real problem. This is the real problem. And I'm a hip hop guy, but I'm not a fan. I think Kevin Gates is a weirdo. I'll be honest with you. I think he's a weird dude. You know, talking about sleeping with your cousin. He's supposed to be Muslim. He's super into eating butt, right? But he's just a weird dude. I don't like his music and anything. And it's not because he's a Southern dude from New Orleans. Because Lil Wayne to me is the GOAT. I just think he's trash. But anyway, despite my personal feelings, Kevin, I mean, he's popular. He's always on the blogs, right? He's on the Shade Room and all these other blogs. So I'm sure that he has some clout. I'm sure there's a lot of women that probably he can get, and it's because he's a rapper. But like, if he wasn't a rapper, would he be able to get these type of women? And majority of these celebrities, they could not get women off their own looks. So the tester is look at the Bay moms. Look at the Bay moms before they was famous. That right there is the lie detector test. That is the true level of the type of person they could attract before the money, the fame, and the clout came along. When this happens, when these celebrities never navigated through life on how to get a certain level of women based off their own merit, then they're attracted to stuff like that, right? They're attracted to the baddies, you know, the BBLs, you know, the women that all maybe 4 other people, like the women he's sitting courtside with, and I made a video about her, Brittany Renner. No disrespect to her, but you know, she I'm telling you what she's considered. This isn't me saying this. She's considered a garden tool. She's pretty open, which I respected about her, but she's pretty open about being passed around, you know? And that's who he's sitting courtside with while he's trying to antagonize LeBron James. You miss a certain level of development if you haven't worked for something. I'll give you an example. Do you know, like, I think the percentage, and y'all can quote me on this, they said something like 70 to 80% of people who win the lottery end up going broke, committing suicide, or something tragic happening to them. Why is that the case? You know, that's the golden dream right there, to win the lotto. And I would love just to do a scratch off, or to pick some numbers and go from being a thousandaire to a millionaire overnight. I would love that. But why do these individuals that win the lotto tend to fall short in life? You know, whether that's going back broke or some type of self-destructive behavior. I'll tell you why. Because these individuals skip the steps to work for that. The point of me mentioning that metaphor is that when you don't develop and go through a process the correct way, you can miss a lot of like important steps to help you be successful. And so guys like Kevin Gates, a lot of these guys who they care about the baddies, they don't really care about the women or the intangibles. They end up, those be the individuals that end up trapped, that end up having allegations. For Kevin Gates, I would encourage him to like, just challenge yourself, man. The reason why it's a difference between how Savannah James is looking at LeBron and these white women is Savannah sees LeBron as the person and the white women see LeBron as the lick. Come on, man, sharpen up. All right, that's it, that's my time. Support the channel, support the nonprofit too. WeAreYouFoundation.org. I'm out.